Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about DC villains, and joining me today is writer and artist Jack Markham. How are you, Jack? Good to have you back.
Oh, well, thanks very much for having me back on again. I must be doing something right.
You must be, yeah. Everyone seems to be happy with you, so that's.
I thought you would have thrown me off by now, but we seem to be doing okay.
Listen, I need someone to balance out that own fella.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be
Um,
ranking DC villains. So Jack is something of a comic book expert.
well, yeah, I would say the expert, but
Sorry for downplaying you, the expert. Now, I do like my comic books, but I imagine that Jack has read a lot more comics than I have. So I think his knowledge is going to be superior to mine. So it's great to have him uh, to help
I'm
me
always
rank these.
glad to. I'm literally always glad to talk about comic books, man. So this is a
Yeah,
privilege.
there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we got, I think it was 23, a list of
So this is
20.
fantastic because when I'm at like family gatherings and I start talking about comic books, it takes maybe 30 seconds for me to lose the room. No, but on this platform, it's like I'm allowed to, you know.
I'm stuck in this room for an hour, so I have no choice. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, some people just aren't into them, like but
Well, this is it's a very niche thing to be into, but
which is mad
it's a great
considering how
yeah.
popular the films are. Like,
Well, look, comic books make the best films. I think the best films come from comics.
there you go.
I would argue.
All right, so are you ready for the first? So we're both gonna rate them. So we have a tier list going on. So it's gonna be from S all the way down to D. So S tier is like the best of the best of the best. D tier
Mm.
doesn't necessarily mean they're bad character. It just means they're just not up there with the really really good DC villains. So maybe some of the D villains will be all right. Like it doesn't mean they're complete shite.
Right. So
um,
yeah, I'd say some of the more obscure ones, like this is where I'm kind of trying to balance it in my head. I'm like, right, if you have S tier ones, you said you're going for a few obscure ones, so I don't know what if they're going to end up in D tier compared to the more powerful ones, but I don't know. Yeah.
so we're gonna rank them based on their look, their personality, the storylines they've been involved in. All that kind of thing is going to be taken into account. All right. So so for example, a character's look is very important. So a character mightn't look that great in isolation, but does their look suit their character? That kind of thing.
Mm.
So yeah, their look, their personality, and yeah, what kind of storylines have they been involved in? Have they been involved in some good storylines? So, Jack, are you ready?
I'm ready when you are. Yep.
All right, we're gonna go with one that maybe a lot of casual comic book readers mightn't have heard of. Crazy Quilt.
Oh man, my favorite. Like you're starting on such a high note.
Everyone's everyone's favorite Crazy Quilt.
Yeah.
Uh, so what do you know about Crazy Quilt? I have a little bit of information about him here.
I listen to there's a podcast I listen on Spotify and it's Irish lads. They do this thing called Hero or Zero. Um
Yeah.
and they talk about all these weirdo kind of characters and they did an episode of Crazy Quilt and I listened to it but I can't exactly remember what his fucking deal is.
So
I know
Crazy, yeah.
he's a bad guy like and his whole gimmick is like he likes his blanket, you know.
Oh, he sounds terrifying.
I know, like, is he just an overgrown baby?
I mean,
He's like,
so
Mommy, where's my blanket?
apparently he's there's been several characters. I think the first version was called Mr. Quilt. But it says
My,
here Crazy Quilt has a helmet that allows him to hypnotize his victims using colorful flashing lights. It can be it can be it can project laser beams and function as artificial eyes. All versions possess an expertise in gadgetry. So, what do you make?
okay, so he's actually kind of smart. Like, he's a bit of an inventor kind of
Yeah.
fella.
Have you ever read
Mm.
some really compelling storylines involving Crazy Quilt?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, same.
Josh.
So I think I know where this fella's going.
I have read an omnibus of Batman in the Golden Age, and I don't remember seeing him in it. So I'm not actually sure what exact timeline, what era he actually appeared in, to be honest. But
there
I do
seems to,
remember hearing about him for sure. Yeah.
yeah, there seems to be
Um,
multiple versions of him. All right, so
I like
is
how it's a legacy character. Like you said, there's like a couple of different versions.
hmm
It's like the mantle of the quilt has
yeah,
been
yeah.
passed down.
Mr. Quilt passes it on to Crazy Quilt. He like what's the
He's,
deal with this guy? He likes quilts and he's crazy.
yeah, I mean, look, I'm pretty sure there was an episode of Batman the Animated Series where like a bunch of comedians and television personalities and all got hypnotized, and there was one, and he became the Condiment King.
Ooh,
Now, I think Crazy Quilt makes an appearance in that episode, but I could be mistaken.
right.
It's been a while.
So is he so S tier? Is he top elite level tier of DC villains? Is he A, which is really good, really good villain? B, pretty decent villain. You know, he's good. You know, a good villain. C, we're not that fussed on him. He's not terrible, but not the worst. And D, no, not great at all. Where do you?
Well, I kind of don't want to be too harsh on him because I haven't seen him in anything on screen or anything.
But
Like,
that's it. We just have to judge it by
you know,
our own experience with Crazy Quilt, to which I have very
right?
little. So I think I'm going to have to
Yeah.
drop him into a D. Although
I think,
he's
well, I think I might give him a C just because I listened to a podcast episode about him and I recognize him, but I've never once seen him on screen, nor have I read a story, so I don't know. I know very little about him. So, um, but you know, he makes people laugh. I guess he's a crazy character, so I can't really give him a D.
all
I
right.
think I'll go give him a C. Yeah.
C for crazy. All right. I'm going to have to drop him into a D. But
Mm.
maybe if I read more, my opinion will change on Crazy Quilt.
I would love if there was a very dark Christopher Nolan reboot of fucking Crazy Quilt.
Could you imagine after The Dark Knight they chose Crazy Quilt as the new villain?
Well, that'd be so funny. Instead of Bane in the third film, it's just fucking Crazy Quilt.
It is I, Crazy Quilt.
I'm Gotham's reckoning, and it's Quilt.
And everyone just pisses themselves laughing.
You will all be warm and cuddly by the time I'm done with you.
Oh no, watch out for his blankie. All right, that's a good
Very
start.
good.
So Crazy Quilt gets a C from Jack and a D from me. So he's not doing too well, this fella. All right, next we have the Penguin.
Okay, yeah, he'd have to be up there because whenever I used to, well, you know, he's so many good stories. I mean, where do you even begin?
Yeah,
If you're looking at Danny DeVito's one, he's a bit of a nut job,
I love that
savage
version
and
as well.
penguin.
I like that
Um,
version.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like him too. But like, whereas if you're looking at the animated series, he's very much like a gentleman,
yeah,
and he's very posho. Like he says stuff like "Welcome to my aviary of doom."
yeah,
Like
yeah,
everything is called something real dramatic and stuff.
yeah.
And I kind of dig that about him. That he's a bit of a weirdo, like a bit of an oddball.
Yeah, Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah,
Which
and to be honest, I love him in the animated series as well because he's the only villain who ever destroyed the Batmobile and the Batwing
there you go.
in that show. He actually
Yeah.
destroyed the Batmobile, which is
I mean,
pretty
he's
impressive.
a pretty cunning foe.
Yeah, and even in Batman Returns, he hacks the Batmobile and stuff. So he's pretty smart, you could say.
I play this city like a harp from hell.
That's right. Yeah, he gets on the intercom.
It's so good. I love it.
And I would even say about Colin Farrell's Penguin as well. That now I haven't watched the Penguin show, but in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, Jesus Christ, what a performance! It's like
Yeah. And
I
I
didn't
hear
even know it was him. I was like, who the hell is that? Like, you
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
it's Colin Farrell.
And I hear the show is great as well. So
I've heard very good things about it. Yeah.
I also love
Um,
his gimmick of the weapon umbrellas. I've always loved that idea. I just think it's cool.
it's cool. Yeah, like blades and stuff come out, and like one of them's a machine gun. Like
Yeah.
it's class.
Didn't he have like a hypnotize umbrella once?
He did, yeah. That was he was trying to hypnotize Max Shrek, played by
Yeah,
Christopher Walken.
yeah. What a great cast that film has.
You know, it's been so long since I watched Batman Returns that but like it's one of those that stays in your mind. Like I can still kind of visualize it because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of these Tim Burton flicks that the artwork is so weird in it that yeah.
I think it's an underrated Batman movie myself, but hey.
Hmm.
All right, what are we giving the Penguin?
You know,
I'm toying around between an A or an S for Penguin. I think you might be S tier in terms of Batman villains.
right. But
Because
in DC villain, like Superman could just snap him in half. You know what I mean? Like,
this is true, but
uh,
like his power level isn't very high, but he has been involved in
no.
some really good storylines. Um, he's been
Yeah, that's true. He's very iconic.
he's very
Um,
cunning.
I think I'm gonna go with A just because I'm kind of saving the S tier. I don't know who is on this fucking list. So
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
yeah.
I think I'll join you with A. Right, double A
Mm.
for the Penguin. So he's in the lead. All right. Good old Oswald Cobblepot. Also, shout out to Burgess Meredith. His version, great.
Oh yeah, Burgess Meredith. Yeah, Jesus Christ,
Love it.
fucking Mickey from Rocky.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what I mean? Who would have thought they're the same character? But he's fantastic, especially in that movie. Like when he disguises himself as the captain. It's like,
Yeah,
Batman, I'm taking it back. Like he's such a character.
yeah, yeah. It's so good. Like that just shows how many like each of those versions we talked about are a little different, but they're all great.
And I don't know if you played the Arkham games,
All love them. Yeah,
but Jesus Christ, he's literally like a little angry kind of dwarf in it.
yeah,
And he has this thick kind of real London fucking accent on him, and it's
yeah,
so again, it's a different interpretation, but it's still solid,
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Uh, all right. So I just need to pause for just 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Jack just had to go save a kitten from a tree. Good on you, Jack. That was a good deed.
Well, anytime, man. I've been doing it since 1978.
Hey, wait a minute. You did look familiar.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen those old school Superman films so many times in my childhood, but I think, when you blank on a memory in a film,
Yeah,
I thought that the whole saving a cat out of a tree thing was a joke for years. And then I went back and watched it. And in the first Christopher Reeve film, he literally
yeah.
saves a cat from a tree. I was like, right, that's where that came from.
Yeah, I think that's where there's a book on writing called Save the Cat, and I'm pretty sure it's all kind of based around that. The idea of like you make them do a good deed, like save a cat from a tree to get the audience to like them. I'm pretty sure that was
Yeah.
that scene that kind
Um,
of sparked that.
yeah, I mean that first Christopher Reeve film, it wasn't a conventional superhero film at all because there's not like I can't even remember a single fight scene in that. Does that film have a fight scene?
I have to. You know what? I actually put it on my list to rewatch. Myself and Owen were thinking about covering it, and my memory's very hazy on it. I'd have to really recap it.
Yeah, there's a great scene where Lois Lane is flirting with him, and it's so obvious that she's flirting with him. She asks him like, "What color underpants am I wearing?" And all this, and all these like kind of questions that would go over your head as a kid, but
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
adult. So she goes, "Do you like pink?" God, come on, Lois. You're being a bit too obvious.
Yeah, calm down, Lois.
It's like, relax. He's an alien. Like, come on.
All right, next up we have a big formidable guy by the name of Bane.
Oh, okay. I have to go fucking S tier with him immediately,
The
just
man who
because
broke the bat.
I know. It was like one of the biggest events in Batman comics history, Nightfall.
Yeah,
And he fucked him up so bad that Azrael had to take over,
yeah.
and he was a nutcase, man. I don't know if you read the Nightfall saga, but
I would
it's
have a
it's
long,
it's
long time
class.
ago, so again, my memory's just a little hazy on it.
Yeah. Like you
Um,
have these events like, the death of Superman and the night Gwen Stacy died. I think every main kind of superhero has a massive event that shocks the fans. I think that when Bane broke his Batman's back, I think that was a massive shocker
yeah, yeah.
in Batman comics history.
And I love Bane's whole gimmick of the venom juicing him up.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Do you ever play the the Injustice games.
Yes, I have.
So I
And
love
I've
Bane.
actually, yeah, I've read
Bane.
the comics as well.
Oh, have you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Bane and that has like I think you can press a button to juice him up. So the more you press it, the stronger he gets. But then when it wears out, the weaker he becomes for a bit. I think that's such a
Yeah.
cool gimmick.
We have a rule whenever I'm playing, I think it's Injustice 2, has Atrocitus in it as a
Yeah.
character. Whenever I'm playing that with my mates, the one rule is we're not allowed to play as Atrocitus or Bane because the two of them are just so fucking overpowered.
Oh yeah, they're
They
animals.
just absolutely trample on you, you know?
I
Yeah.
remember I was playing one of the kids and I picked Bane and I just throttled them so badly they cried. But I made it up to them. I apologized for being like, I should have toned down my skill level accordingly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love that name, Atrocitus. That's such a cool fucking name.
Oh, it's class. Like, but in Injustice, he has this move that you can't break it or counter it or anything. It's like five fucking massive fists in a row, and you can't block it. He's just super overpowered in it.
So
But Atrocitus is awesome. He's a Green Lantern villain,
yeah,
and if I'm not, I don't read a lot of Green Lantern, but as far as I'm aware, he's not willpower. He's actually like
fear.
vengeance and
Oh
rage.
right.
He's one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Bane, are you so Nightfall would be one of your favorite Bane stories.
I kind of like him anytime I see him. You know, I mean, I can think of very few instances where I haven't been impressed with the Bane story. He was
Yeah,
really good in Arkham Origins, and actually in all the Arkham games, he was pretty
yeah.
good. Uh, I liked him in Dark Knight Rises, which is controversial, but a lot of people didn't. But I thought it was good.
I
Thought Tom Hardy did an okay job.
yeah, I mean, I think he did all right as him. I think just the kind of writing around it let it down.
Yeah, they could have done a lot more with that film. Like that, they could have. I know it's a super realistic world or whatever, the Dark Knight films, but you could have just had the Venom injection. That's not that fucking fantastical.
No, yeah,
They absolutely could have had that in it.
yeah. I mean, it's just like a super steroid or something.
Yeah. Here, come here. Do you remember the Bane in Batman and Robin with
Oh
George
my
Clooney?
god! I think I remember when I was a kid and that movie was coming out and I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. I was sure he was going to be Bane, because he's big muscular. But he was
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze and Bane was some silent character.
wouldn't
And
that make a whole lot more sense?
yeah. But I
Yeah.
think hot take, but that's one of Arnie's best roles.
It's like you get the most famous bodybuilder in Hollywood at the time, and you get him to play the mad scientist.
Yeah, yeah.
Just have him play Bane, yeah. That actually probably would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Who knows? I think it turned out well because I think his performance as Mr. Freeze is so funny. Like that whole film is just such a journey.
Man, like I can't even bring myself to hate it because there was a time where I really just despised watching that film because it just annoyed kind of teenage Jack because I was a bit of a fucking this is too goofy, this is too da, da,
Yeah.
da, whatever. But
It was
now I
a
look back and I can't help but just like laugh and smile whenever I'm
Do you
watching
know
it.
what?
It's
I
a
enjoy it
roller
whenever
coaster.
I watch it. Like I know it angers people, but it's kind of trying to go back to the whole Adam West type thing.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's very Adam West only
Yeah.
with 90s neon.
And a fun fact: so Mr. Freeze has a lot of ice puns in that, and a lot of people
Yeah.
think "Ice to See You" comes from that, but that's actually McBain in The Simpsons. A lot of people think Arnie says "Ice to See You" in that one, but he doesn't. It's McBain in The Simpsons.
Oh shit! Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a piss take character of Arnie as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So that's why a lot of people confuse it for being from Batman and Robin, but it isn't. It's from The Simpsons. He never
Yeah, it's
says.
like well,
He says
yeah,
every fucking ice pun in the world except "Ice to See You" in that one.
yeah. Most of his scenes. I don't think he goes a single scene without saying one. Like when he goes to prison and the guards don't know his name, and he's like, "Allow me to break the ice. I am freeze."
Kind of makes you think, like, was he like that before he turned into Mr. Freeze? It's like, was he
Well,
always?
yeah, because his real name is Victor Freeze.
Yeah.
So you reckon he just went through his whole life making puns about his name? That's his personality.
That's
Oh,
just his
fucking hell.
character. It
All
just
right, everyone, chill out.
oh, so good. All right, Bane. We're still on Bane. Right, S tier for you.
Sorry, I'm after choking. Sorry.
It's all
Yeah, I
right,
think
Jack. Chill out.
absolutely S tier for Bane. Despite the Batman and Robin version, I still have a soft spot for it. So S tier.
I am going to go S tier for Bane as well. You talked me into it. There's some very good arguments. S tier. Right,
Mm,
we have our first double S. Bane.
cool.
All right, now another strong fella, but perhaps not as strong. Killer Croc.
Okay.
I like Killer Croc in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, I loved him in Hush as well.
Yeah.
He was at the beginning of Hush and fucking Jim Lee's artwork of Killer Croc. Well, you know what Jim Lee is like, man.
Oh
He can
yeah.
never miss.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does a savage Killer Croc, man. Um,
100%.
I think that might be my favorite version. He was pretty good in the Arkham games. I remember there was that one level in the first game where you're going through the sewers. Uh, I think most superhero games have like a sewer level of some kind,
It seems to
don't
be a
they?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there was that level, and that was a pretty challenging boss battle.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then in the animated series, he was kind of more of a comedy character. He was a bit of a bit of a dumbass, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
There's a great moment in an episode called Almost Got Him, where he goes, "How did you almost get the Batman?" And he goes, "I threw a big rock at him." That's his whole story.
Good strategy.
Yeah, like, oh, good plan, Croc. Yeah, you do
Right.
that.
Where do you land on Killer Croc? S, A, B, C, or D?
I don't think I can go higher than kind of B with him because I do like him as a character, but I kind of feel like he's an answer to the Lizard.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
because a
I'd like
lot of Spider-Man and Batman villains bleed into each other, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm trying to think of what storylines he's been in, and like I don't know if he's been in a ton of great storylines, has he?
he's kind of a B-list Batman villain, for us to be completely honest. He's not a
Yeah.
mainstream fan favorite, you know.
Yeah. I might go C for
Um,
Killer Croc.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Right, two C's.
Slap bang in the middle.
Yeah. Good old Croc. All right. Granny Goodness.
What?
Granny Goodness.
Granny goodness. Is this from Adam West?
No. I'm going to Google her.
Okay. It sounds like an Adam West film.
I typed in Google to Google because I said it at the same time. Granny. She is sorry, hold on.
Oh, I'm thinking of you know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Ma Baker.
Hmm.
Do you know there was an episode of the Adam West show where there was this woman called Ma Baker and she had like a few cowboy sons and that's
Yeah.
that song by Boney M. It's like Ma Baker, she taught up her sons. Nom, 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 nom.
Right.
It's like I mean, I always piece that together in my mind that was the same character. It's just, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know
So
which one first.
Granny Goodness, she is a new god from Apocalypse and a servant of Darkseid who trains others who serve him. Granny Goodness, servant of Darkseid. Creator Jack Kirby. She is a new god.
Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
Right, it's just like he's a fucking
Legend.
he's an icon, like he's a legend. And I can't believe I've never heard of this person. But yeah, no, I'm blanking on it. Let me get a picture actually. If I see a picture of her.
Yeah, see a picture. I got a picture of her up here, yeah. Granny Goodness. Yeah, she looks like a pretty wicked person.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, what the
have you
fuck?
seen her?
Yeah, I can see her.
She first appeared in Mr. Miracle #2 in 1971.
Yeah, no,
Her
I don't
appearance
know.
was modeled after Phyllis Diller.
Ah,
Uh,
yes. Phyllis Diller. Good old
you know
Phyllis.
the one. I think she was in Lava Lantula. As a new god, Granny Goodness possesses superhuman physical abilities and is functionally immortal. What does functionally immortal mean?
Functionally immortal, right? So he's immortal whenever it's practical to be immortal. Is that
Yeah, yeah. She al-
it?
she also wields advanced weaponry, including a mega rod, a staff that can project concussive energy blasts. So it seems you don't want to get hit by her mega rod.
Well, look, Stephen, I know I said I knew my DC comics, but I'm learning a lot today. I'd never heard of this person before.
Oh yeah, I actually heard of her. Surely she was in one of the animated shows.
There's actually a picture of her in live action with an actress playing her. So let's. What the fuck? Zack Snyder was going to put her in
Yeah,
the next
I
Justice League
saw that
film.
as well. Yeah, because she works with
Is it
Darkseid.
Darkseid's granny?
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
I
Whose
don't.
granny is she?
No, no. I think that's just her title. I don't think she. I don't think she's Darkseid's granny. She works for him and she trains people for Darkseid. So that's a
Okay.
pretty good role. So considering that, I mean, you know, I think considering you haven't heard of her, I can't. I don't think I can go higher than the C. But
I know, yeah. I'm gonna go D. I've never seen her before, so. But actually, how funny would it be if Zack Snyder came back and he said Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2, and Granny Goodness was in it, and we had to watch another 4 hour film and take that name seriously?
could you imagine that dark, gritty world? Here comes Granny
Yeah.
Goodness.
Granny Goodness, ready the Armada.
Oh Jesus Christ!
That's very funny.
Okay, yeah, I think we both have to go D. All right, D for Granny Goodness.
Yeah,
Sorry about
sorry,
that.
Granny.
Sorry, Granny, but you're just not up there with Crazy Quilt.
No. Where's Crazy Quilt? Is he like
He's
B or C or
actually
something?
he's a C and a D, so he's currently second last. Granny Goodness is last, so because you
Okay.
gave Crazy Quilt a C, you're saving him from bottom spot. So well done, good man, Jack.
I've actually heard of Crazy Quilt. That's why he's higher than Granny Goodness.
All right, so the next one, there's really only one place this next one can go, to be honest. All right, the Joker.
Okay, I know that you're gonna want to immediately put him in S tier.
Yes. Do you
There's
have an
one thing. There's
Okay.
one thing that draws me back from that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There's been interpretations of the Joker. There's been so many of them, right? That there's a few shite ones.
Okay, right.
Now, before anyone comes at me in the comments, we all know that if it's a fan favorite character, there's going to be some shite iterations of it. Somewhere along the line, it's just
Yeah,
inevitable.
that is true. That's a good
So,
point. I really didn't
but I
like
can't take the.
I really didn't like Jared Leto's version at all.
Neither did I at all. Uh, Heath Ledger's was. In my personal favorite is Heath Ledger, right?
Caesar
And
Romero for me.
I grew up with Mark Hamill in the animated series. Caesar Romero.
Even when he has his makeup on, you can see his mustache.
I know, it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's like my, yeah,
Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger, yeah, legends.
yeah. Mark Hamill did a great speech, and it stuck with me for years. There's an episode where Batman allegedly dies,
Yeah.
and Joker gives him a eulogy, and it's actually like I know they're mortal enemies and stuff, but it's quite touching, like what he says about him,
Oh.
and he actually looks genuinely upset.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, oh, poor Joker. He was like his best friend.
Oh, no, he's no one to play with.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
So
okay, so
you might
I,
drop him
I
down
would,
to an A because of the bad versions of him that are out there.
but like, just before I do, like, does how iconic and
Yeah.
you know,
And
does the
there's
cultural impact save him? I wonder.
wasn't there like a storyline called The Three Jokers where it was
Yeah,
like three different
yeah,
people?
yeah. Oh, there's some fantastic ones. Like, Yeah, that's right. There are three Jokers, and there was
What do you think of
I
that
don't know.
idea
Yeah.
that there's three Joe? I'm not too keen on it. I like the idea that there's one and that there's always been one, but I don't know. Maybe. What do you
Well,
reckon?
in these comics, you could have like infinite Jokers if you wanted to do a multiverse story or something.
For
Um,
you, what's the worst version of the Joker in any medium?
Jared Leto, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
although there's been a few animated ones that are kind of shite, like but
Yeah.
it's all a matter of taste. Like I know people who defend Jared Leto's Joker, and that's their favorite. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay,
fine.
whatever.
If you like it, you like it. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's Heath Ledger is still the best for me. I think. Uh, I don't think it gets any higher than him. And I
Yeah.
don't really like the look of Barry Keoghan's Joker either. Like, just being honest, I know he's an Irishman, and we should be like, yeah, go on, Barry.
Yeah.
You're playing the most famous villain in cinema history. But he just looks like shite.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not sure where I'm gonna land on it when I see him, but like in a full movie. But fingers crossed.
It's a tricky one talking about the Joker, isn't it? It's like
Yeah. There's so much to dig into.
there really is. I think I just have to give him an S tier though, just because of his impact. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you don't know comic books or you never watched the Batman film before, everyone knows the Joker.
Yeah. hundred
You go
percent.
to some village in South Africa and you just say, "Oh yeah, you're a bit like the Joker," and they know exactly what you're on about. You know what I mean?
Whereas if you
Everyone
say
knows.
whereas you say you're a bit like Crazy Quilt, they kind of give you a look.
Yeah,
um, I mean, there's no more famous DC villain than the Joker. So,
I think it's Esther
and
for
with the
me.
storylines he's been involved in and the big impact he's had, I'm gonna have to go S. Are you going S?
I think so as well. Yeah, I mean,
Has to.
we did make a good argument
Yeah,
about the
which is
points
good.
there,
We
but
didn't just act on reflex.
yeah, I know. I kind of jumped the gun with Bane, and I don't regret it, but I didn't want to do the same again. We have to actually analyze these villains.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next we have Catwoman.
Oh God, man. I don't know about you, but like when I was a kid and I had Batman Returns on DVD, she was like her and Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever were my two childhood crushes. You
All
know,
right, there you go.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is just so she's like mentally unwell as well as being like gorgeous. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is something that Catwoman's not really in the comics. Like she's usually quite smart and she knows what she's at.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It was an interesting take, but it worked for that film though.
yeah, she's always been the kind of the temptress towards Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's always trying to tempt him. Um,
Now the only thing that might Catwoman is great, I think, but she's she has been a villain, but she's also like been a sort of anti-hero as well. She's not evil.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, she's definitely done some horrible things, for sure.
so I'm
One
I'm
thing
thinking I'm thinking maybe A for Catwoman. Can you sway me one way or another?
I would go higher, but that's going to be three Batman villains in S tier.
That's cool.
No,
Yeah,
I think
that's
I,
fine.
I think probably A.
Yeah, I
I
think
just
A.
because she's not my favorite love interest for Bruce as it goes.
So that's what you're judging it by.
Oh my god, yeah, me and the missus are always arguing about this. She's always like, "No, Catwoman's perfect," and I'm like, "No, no." It's like in some stories, yeah, but no, not for me. She's not Bruce's love.
Right, right. Okay. Next up, one of my favorites because I love that episode that introduces him in the animated series, Clayface.
Oh god, yeah, I know the episode. Jesus Christ, with all the screens,
Mm.
man. Uh, yeah, he's pretty good. I wouldn't mind actually seeing him in a live action flick.
I think
Uh,
was it announced that they're gonna make a horror film, Clayface horror film? I'm not sure if that's
I
true.
don't know if that was announced because well DC like they cancel a lot of projects when they announce them and stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe it was at some point, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's a good concept I think for a horror film.
yeah.
To do it
Um,
in the style of a horror film would be way better than doing it in the style of a superhero film, I think.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And a
Get the
film
right
that just
director.
focuses around them, that could be interesting.
Yeah, because like what the animated series did so well was like they gave these kind of villain of the week type characters actual depth, and
Yeah.
they did it with Clayface and they did it with Mr. Freeze and a few others.
Oh, the animated
Um,
series had some great writing. Like some of it's so good.
yeah, I know. It's like whenever I'm talking to about Batman characters with anyone, I just always refer back to the animated series because it is kind of like the definitive telling for a lot of these characters.
Right. So where are you gonna go with Clayface?
I think I'm gonna just give him a B, um, because I think he hasn't had his day in the sun yet.
I'm
I
going
think
between
if he
like,
was,
although I really like
well,
him, I think I'm between a B and a C. I do really like him, but
yeah,
does he deserve to be in B tier?
if he was the main villain in a Batman movie, like do you remember Spider-Man 3 when Sandman is like 20 foot tall? Like Clayface could do something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be class. They just haven't done him yet, so I think I'm not going any higher than a B with him.
Um. Unfortunately, I might have to put him in C. I don't know. B sounds good for Clayface though. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna go B. B for Clayface. All right, two
Okay.
B's. All right. Next up, Mr. Freeze also has a great episode in the animated series.
Yeah, it was, and you know what? It was the first ever animated um episode of a TV show to ever win Best Episode. It won an Emmy,
I did hear that. That's fucking cool.
and it was the first ever cartoon to win an Emmy for Best Episode. That never happened before. So
That's
here's Batman breaking records again.
there you go. Look, there's no stopping the bat.
Mm.
Um,
Um,
I like
yeah,
the concept of Mr. Freeze a lot, and I really like that episode. I always like him when he shows up and stuff. I'm like, oh, like no pun intended. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Mr. Freeze is in it.
yeah,
um, I think I might go B for Mr. Freeze.
I think so too.
I don't think he quite makes it up to A.
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets S tier that
Oh,
version.
naturally, we have to disqualify him because that'd be unfair.
I know. He doesn't even make the list because it just makes everyone else look bad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go B for Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm the same. Yeah.
B. All right. Okay, so tied with Clayface. All right. Next, we have Poison Ivy.
Right. Yeah, I really like Poison Ivy. Um, although she's one of these people, whenever I see her, I'm a bit of a germaphobe to be honest. So I know if I ever interacted with her in the real world, I wouldn't touch off her because I'd say she's like full of infections, plants. I'd say if
Right.
you touched her, you'd get a rash.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know how many antibodies Batman has to take before he fights her. But no, that weird
Imagine her
germaphobe side
power
of me,
was
even though I like the look of her, I don't like the fact that she's a plant lady.
imagine her
Uh,
power was like she touched you and she just gave you an irritating rash.
yeah, imagine, like, I mean, certain plants do though, and
Hmm. I really
I
like
don't
her
know.
character design.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
red hair and the green, and then her power to kind of mind control you. She's a decent boss fight in Arkham Asylum as well.
she is, and she's a pretty good villain in Hush because she brainwashes Superman by putting some kind of brainwashing plant chemical and liquid kryptonite into a lipstick, and then she kisses him.
Yeah,
And then Superman's basically doing her bidding in Hush, and that's
yeah.
it's really good.
I think a horror movie starring Poison Ivy would be pretty cool.
As long as it's not Uma Thurman.
Oh man, that's exactly what I was thinking. Uma Thurman in a
Isn't it funny how the only live action versions we've gotten of Poison Ivy is Uma Thurman with Arnold Schwarzenegger as
Yeah,
Mr. Freeze?
yeah, that is mad. I actually would like to see her make a good appearance in future films. I think she could be a really interesting villain. There's a lot you could do with her.
Yeah, I think if they went along the roads of, like you said, the Arkham games, Poison Ivy, I think they'd have a solid shot there.
I'm gonna stick
Um,
Poison Ivy in B tier.
yeah, I think so too. Um,
All right.
just because,
Three.
like, it's like Clayface, she hasn't had her moment. I don't think she's had her massive moment yet.
Right. All right. Let us know how you feel in the comments, how you would rate some of these if you disagree, or if you feel like maybe some of their storylines warrant that they go higher. Let us know. Um, all right, another one of my favorites, Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane.
Oh, I love him. I love Scarecrow. Uh, I don't want to go as high as S though. I think
I don't think I would put him up in S. No, not up with the Joker.
no. I think he's pretty good in everything. To be honest, can't remember a terribly bad Scarecrow story. Um, like he's brilliant in Batman Begins, but I think at the end he kind of got a wee bit overshadowed by Ra's al Ghul, which I
Yeah,
don't mind
yeah,
because
yeah,
Ra's al Ghul is one of my favorites. But
yeah,
maybe he deserved a bit more attention in the Dark Knight trilogy than he got. I'd say you could argue that really. Uh,
yeah. Are there any, apart from that, is there any Scarecrow storylines you're particularly fond of?
Scarecrow stories. I
Okay,
loved him in Arkham Knight. It, his
yeah,
He was so creepy, and actually his boss battles in the Arkham series were pretty unique, because he had to do a bit of stealth and he couldn't get seen by the lights of his eyes and stuff.
yeah.
So
It
that was
went all
awesome.
trippy and it kind of mixed things up a bit. I thought it was pretty cool.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
might
there's been a
go.
few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it.
yeah. There was. I was just about to say there was a great episode called "Nothing to Fear" in BTAS, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it because there's a great line where he's been doused with the fear toxin and he sees this giant ghost of his father saying, "You're a failure, Bruce." And then you get that iconic line of him saying, "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am
Yeah,
Batman." You know that one?
nice. Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
iconic. It's a
that's
great
so
episode.
cool.
Yeah.
I might stick Scarecrow and B tier also. Do you think B or
I wish
C?
I could reference more comics, but to be honest, when I'm currently in the process of both writing a comic and making a film, so I can't remember the last time I actually sat down and read an actual full
Oh,
DC
finding
book.
time these days is just. That's what you get for
I
being
know,
an
like
adult, Jack. That's what you get for growing up.
I know I have to cut into my sleeping hours if I want to read something.
Yeah, yeah. Right, where are you going to put Scarecrow?
um, I think A. I think solid A.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm going to go. Whoa, I'm toying between A and B. I don't know.
I
Um,
loved him in Batman Begins though as well. Like even though he was kind of the side villain, I fucking loved him.
yeah.
And he's one of
Uh,
ours, he's a paddy.
yeah. Because I'm a little undecided, I'm gonna just I do love Scarecrow, but I think I'm gonna put him in B tier. Maybe that's a
Okay, yeah.
horrendous mistake. I don't know. Maybe I'll be like, what the fuck was I thinking? But for the moment, he goes B. And for you?
I would put him in A. I think he goes a bit harder than like Clayface and Poison Ivy. I just think he's kind of cooler. I think I like the whole idea of a fear toxin that he shows you your worst fears in front of you. Like, I think
Do
that's
you
a
know
very
what?
powerful thing for a
Yeah,
villain to do.
I think you've talked me into it. I think you're right. I think he deserves an A.
Mm. But here's a question, right? Would that work? Would that fear gas work on Sinestro?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good question. I wonder if that's happened in the comics.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll have
Anyway,
to, yeah.
yeah.
Let us know if that's
If
ever
anyone, if
happened.
anyone knows in the comments,
Yeah, let us know if
feel
that's
free
ever
to.
been a thing. Okay, now one Scarecrow is obviously very intimidating, so we're going to another very intimidating villain, Kite Man.
Kite man, hell yeah!
Yeah, I love it. It's so cool.
That's literally his catchphrase whenever he does
Yeah,
anything. Kite man, hell yeah!
it's so good. Even like you Google him, that's the first suggestion. Kite Man, hell yeah.
Yeah, literally. I'm pretty sure he has like you know, because he's been around since like 50s or 60s, I think, and he got like a full graphic novel there in the 2000s called Kite Man. Hell yeah.
I just seen it here. Yeah, yeah. Um,
uh,
his real name
so
is Charles Chuck Brown. I did hear he was like named after Charlie Brown because something about Charlie Brown and kites. I'm not really sure what the connection is, but his real name is Chuck Brown. Um,
right. Um, yeah, he's got. I mean, I think he was brought back after Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, I haven't seen him in any DC media in a long
yeah.
time.
It just
I
says
just
here. I love
like
this. It
I've
goes.
just heard of
It
him,
goes. He
and I've
uses.
yeah.
It says he uses kite-based weapons to commit crimes. So, like
And I
kite-based
think didn't he
weapons.
adopt the persona because he's just really into kites?
I mean, I can't think of few things less intimidating than a kite.
I know. I mean, like, I mean, you know, Batman. Christian Bale's Batman has the thing where his wings like kind of turn into a kite. So did he see that and go, "Damn, that's fucking awesome! I should do that." Only with a kite.
Oh man, yeah.
So Kite
So
Man, hell yeah,
if
where would I put
someone
him?
if someone threatened me with a kite-based weapon, I don't know if I'd exactly tremble in fear.
Imagine
I was like, I'm gonna march home
Justice
and get
League.
my kite, and then you're gonna be sorry.
Yeah, it's like it's literally a string that takes off in the wind. How you can even weaponize
Yeah, he.
that?
I'll be honest, he seems a little bit cracked. So, I'm gonna have to put Kite Man in D. Jack, can
Yeah.
you fight a better case for Kite Man?
Well, okay. I'm gonna put him in C just because who else has a catchphrase like that?
There you go. He's good at branding himself, you know?
If nothing else, he has a fucking hilarious catchphrase.
Right, I'm gonna write C and then just beside that in brackets, hell yeah.
Kite Man, hell yeah!
Alright, so our boy Kite Man isn't doing too bad. He's not bottom. Bottom is still granny goodness. Alright. Kite Man, hell yeah.
I mean, the people in the bottom tier clearly had nothing that noteworthy, really, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna enter a room from now on. Just burst open the door and go, Kite Man, hell yeah.
Yeah, you should just bust in and go, Stephen Carey, hell yeah! Or like the air guitar from Bill and Ted. You're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. A guitar made of kites.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Alright, another fan favorite. Harley Quinn.
Okay,
What you
my
reckon?
mind immediately jumps to S tier.
Yeah, I'm thinking that myself. I mean, she is also such an icon.
Yeah, and it's just the whole multiple interpretations thing. There's been a few fair shite Harley Quinns, you know.
That's the thing that might
Um,
put her down to an A for me rather than S. I'm not sure.
But she actually didn't originate from the comics.
I know. I heard they made
Mm.
her up for Batman the animated series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like just a side character for the Joker to talk to.
and how
And
mad is that? Like considering how big she's gotten.
that's why that's the beauty of that show. It's like, you know, so many amazing things came out of it, and Harley Quinn was one of them.
Yeah, there's another villain on here that I think has originated from that, but we'll get to him. Maybe not as culturally impactful, but we'll get to him.
Right.
So
But,
I'm so glad you can't see the screen. Jack can't see what's on the screen, so he doesn't know what's coming up at all. Only I have that power.
can I hazard a guess? Is one of your villains on this list Open Window Man?
I have never fucking heard of that. Is that real? Are you?
Yeah, real character, man. His whole deal is that he's really good at going out windows.
Fucking hell, Jack! You made me spit on my screen.
Sorry, but like, yeah, no, he carries a window on
I'm
his
sorry.
neck, a
I'm
window frame with a glass pane in it.
I'm gonna have to pause everything and Google him right now. Open window man.
Man, I have to. Okay, I have to shout them out again. But Connor and Sean from Heroes for Hire podcast, I've been listening to them for years. They have this show called Hero or Zero, and they cover these weird ass fucking characters like this. They won't mind me shouting them out because I'm an old listener, like at this point. But they
Yeah.
covered Open Window Man,
Now, open
Big
window.
Wheel, Kite Man.
Open
You
window
know,
man is DC, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
He
Unless it's
well,
Marvel.
he has no Wikipedia page.
I promise I didn't make him up. Honestly, go on Google Images.
Even
He says,
even Kite Man is on Wikipedia, but no open window man.
hang on a fucking minute. I'll find him.
Do you know what? We'll get back to him. We'll maybe have him as a surprise ending or something.
It's just when you said that Crazy Quilt and then you said like Kite Man, I was like, I wonder if he's going to bring up Open Window Man.
I've never heard of him.
I'm going to message you a picture of him right now. So
Right.
it's the stupidest costume ever, by the way.
I'm considering putting Harley Quinn in S tier.
I think so as well. Like the only thing I would kind of hold back from her is like the whole. Now I think Margot Robbie's an incredible choice, but some of those films were just a bit shite. Like I mean,
Yeah, again, the writing around the character I don't think was very strong, but I think she could potentially be a very, very good Harley Quinn for sure. I
yeah,
think
no, I haven't seen the Lady Gaga version, so I can't really speak on it. But
no, I
uh,
don't. I don't know what that
I
one
don't
is.
really like the look of it. To be honest, it looks like shite.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. Yeah, fuck it. Harley
I
Quinn
think,
has to go in S tier.
yeah, I think so. Just for how she came about, you know.
Yeah, and just
Alone.
how big she is now. All right, hold on,
Yeah.
folks. Jack has sent me a photo. Oh dear God. I mean, apart from the fact that he's actually got a window on his head, the costume's
Yeah,
not bad.
and he has curtains for a cape.
I seen that there. I was like, is that part of it or is that the background? And he's got a window symbol on his chest. This guy is ludicrous.
I feel like I'm after doing a Stephen Carey on you.
I think you have pulled a Stephen Carey.
Yeah, because remember you explained Bubba Hotep to me, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You were like, am I? You kind of were like, am I actually hearing all of this?
I know, I thought I was having a stroke.
All right, he's got to be my new he's going to be my new profile picture. All right.
Awesome.
Harley Quinn S tier. So
That's tier for sure.
so far we have a three-way tie, and we'll announce the winners at the end. All right. Two-Face, Harvey Dent.
Oh man, you're going for all these really good Batman villains. It's actually
Yeah.
hard to. It's very hard to put him low down.
Yes.
Or what you could do is you could put Harvey Dent in A and Two-Face in B.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That,
multiple personalities.
oh, that is so clever.
Thank you. Even a stop clock is right once a day, Stephen.
Do you know what? Because of that suggestion, I forgive you for Open Window Man.
Okay.
Oh, do you know what? Also, we could just flip a coin to see if he goes.
Actually, it's not a bad idea,
Yeah,
considering I just don't have a coin on me right now.
yeah, I don't either. All right, we'll just have to
Card
use.
change.
We'll just have to use the old noggin.
Right, let's analyze good old Two-Face a little bit.
I think he's been in some great storylines.
I love him. Yeah, there was a time there where he was definitely one of my top favorites.
And I love the
Batman
concept of like the twin personality, sort of indecisive, flipping coins, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's a real kind of I think a lot of Batman villains speak to mental health issues. I think he's like the flag child of that, the
Right.
poster boy for the kind of, not all villains are really in their right mind when they're committing all these horrible crimes.
Yeah.
You definitely see that in the animated series for sure,
Yeah,
because it's creepy how they do it in that show, man. Because he's sitting talking to the therapist, and then she goes, "Can I talk to Big Bad Harv?" And
yeah,
then Two Face's voice comes out, and I'm like, "Fucking hell!"
yeah, yeah,
So eerily kind of realistic because you could see that happening, you
yeah.
know.
In the comic books, is there a storyline that you like involving Two Face that you're particularly fond of?
Let me think now.
Again, he's great in BTAS and um,
Hmm.
The Dark Knight. Of course, I like that Harvey Dent.
There was a great story in the comics where he had a giant coin, and I think they did that in the cartoon as well.
Mm.
But yeah, the giant coin in the Batcave, that was him. That was one of his crimes.
Ah,
I'm looking like such an amateur comic fan, by the way, because I can't off the top of my head name story. It's like I said, it's been a while since I actually sat down and read a bit of Batman. Um,
yeah,
let me think. A good Two Face story. The one that jumps out anyway is the giant coin one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like him in The Dark Knight?
I love him. I loved Aaron Eckhart's version. I think like because he wrapped up that film perfectly, with Harvey Dent's kind of fall from grace.
Mm.
Yeah. Because the whole first act of that film is convincing you how much of a great guy this Harvey Dent dude is, and if you know who Harvey Dent by name, going into that film, you know that some shit's gonna go down with this
Something's
fella.
gonna happen. Yeah, you're gonna go like, I hope you don't like your whole face.
Yeah. So
um,
enjoy looking in the mirror while you can.
I'm gonna put Two Face in A.
I think A as well because there's good interpretations and then there's like kind of washy ones. Like I think when Tommy Lee Jones played him in Batman Forever, I think he didn't do that great of a job
Was it?
that he could have done. You know?
Yeah, it was a bit. Was it? From what I remember, that was a bit more Joker-like, wasn't it?
Well, look, I mean, from what I heard off the set of that is that Joel Schumacher didn't really discipline that performance too much because he didn't know the character. So Tommy Lee Jones didn't like Jim Carrey as a person or
I've
as an actor or performer. So
I've
his
heard that.
Two Face is just his impersonation of Jim Carrey.
Right.
Genuinely, that's what I heard. And I well believe it because he's hopping around on screen acting like an idiot, and I'm like, this isn't Tommy Lee Jones or Two Face. Why is he acting this way?
Yeah, yeah. I heard he
Yeah.
met Jim Carrey in a
Anyway.
restaurant during the making of that, and he just kind of says to him, "I can't sanction your buffoonery." I thought that's such a
Yeah.
great thing to say.
Something like that.
Yeah, he didn't. They didn't get along apparently.
I can understand why, because if you've ever seen Tommy Lee Jones in anything, he's one of these fuckers. If you told him 25 jokes, you wouldn't get a single laugh out of him. He could go to a comedy show and Dave Chappelle could be performing and he'd leave more depressed. You know? He's the most stone faced bastard in Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, Two
but I
Face.
love him. He's great.
Two A's for Two Face. Awesome. All right, next. I think you're gonna like this fella, Raz Al Ghul.
S tier.
There you go. I reckoned. Oh no, is it Raz
Didn't
or
even have to
Raish? Which one do you say?
didn't have to think about it. Okay, I can settle this once and for all. It is not Raish, it's Raz.
Okay, how so?
Because I'm that big of a nerd, right? Because I actually went and researched this. Neil Adams, the guy who created Ra's al Ghul, has said multiple times at conventions that it is pronounced Raz, and that's why in Batman Begins when he says you're not Ra's al Ghul and they call him Raz, people are like giving out because it's like it's not Raz, it's Raish. But no, come on, cop
All
yourselves on.
right. The
It's
original
Raz.
creator says Raz. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're going S
Um.
tier for Raz. Obviously, he's been in lots of great storylines too.
Yeah.
And he was in obviously Batman Begins. Quite liked him in that.
He was in. Yeah, he was excellent in that. I think that his rivalry with Bruce Wayne was so strong because the writers, the Nolan brothers, did something real genius where they made Ra's al Ghul Bruce Wayne's mentor, and I thought that was so clever.
Yeah,
Such a stroke of genius on their part.
yeah, that was a good move narratively.
And then like come the third film, like you can feel his absence in the subsequent films, and in the third film he comes back to him and flash in when he's hallucinating, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Um,
two S's for Raz. S tier. Awesome.
Yeah,
Good old
absolutely. Yeah.
Raz. All right, from one legend to another, the Condiment King. Now, maybe you can clear this up as well, but was he also originated in the animated series? Do you know?
Nope. Nope. I can give you a bit of backstory on him.
Go
He
for it.
comes straight from like the golden age. So he's old. He's near 50, 60 odd years old as a character. Uh,
Right.
and he was just one of these villain of the week types.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really. I don't think they even plan to bring him back post Crisis because Crisis reset the entire universe and a lot of things changed and a lot of things got cut out, never to return. But somehow the Condiment King survived.
Yeah.
And
That's mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah, because they did a lot of stuff didn't survive the Crisis. Like it was just characters that were abandoned.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but
he.
he made it. So look, I mean, fair play to him. I mean, guy with the ketchup gun and the mustard gun.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a picture of him on screen right now. Okay, so it says here the Condiment King, created by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini for Batman the Animated Series, is a DC
Oh,
Comics villain who makes use of various condiments.
oh my God! I'm so sorry. I must be thinking of someone else. Who the fuck am I thinking of?
Yeah, it said he was creative. Unless this information's wrong.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. No, okay. I must have gotten them completely mixed up then. Sorry, listeners. I'm after getting something completely incorrect.
Jack, how dare you?
Um,
You've just brought down the credibility of this show.
it's okay. I'll buy you a bottle of ketchup to make up for
Listen, if I
it.
was ever going to do cosplay, I would go with the picture right in front of me. This condiment dude. He makes use of various condiments, sometimes capable of causing anaphylactic shock. Um, he
Yeah, I mean, because people have allergies, I guess, and ketchup has a lot of vinegar in it, and vinegar can burn your skin.
still
So,
wouldn't be my go-to weapon.
I mean, I know it's a weird gimmick, but he's not harmless. Like, he can
It
actually.
says it says he was originally created as a joke villain who appeared on Batman the Animated Series, but was later adapted into the comics.
Yes, I think I mentioned this episode earlier, but there's an episode where like comedians in Gotham and television hosts get brainwashed
That was it.
into
Yeah,
thinking they're supervillains, and one of them becomes the Condiment King.
he is portrayed
Um,
as a dim-witted criminal who uses condiment-themed weaponry.
oh yeah, and do you know how Batman beats him in that episode?
Oh,
Yeah, the Condiment King slips on his own ketchup and falls off a balcony, and Batman has to save him.
I just like I don't know, like just squirting mustard and ketchup in your eyes. I mean, I would still pick a gun myself, a conventional gun, but
I mean, yeah, I reckon you could still beat the fuck out of him. It's just you will get covered in ketchup
imagine
to
Batman
a
rocks
certain
up with
extent.
his like big bat mech suit armor or whatever, and he's been squirted by ketchup and mustard, and then just
Yeah,
squashes the dude.
it's like, tell me, do you bleed? It's like, no, but I can make chips taste better.
Tell me, do you like mustard? You will.
Batman versus the Condiment King. Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Ketchup.
Oh, holy hell! All right,
I
Condiment
just wish
King.
I just wish once all these kind of C-list or D-list villains got their time to shine on the big screen.
Imagine you took a villain like this or Kite Man and you put him in a real dark and gritty, realistic world and took them super seriously and just that would be so fun.
Yeah, give him to Christopher Nolan. Just
Yeah,
see
yeah.
if Christopher Nolan can't sell us these ridiculous characters.
No one can. Imagine at the end of like Batman Begins, instead of the Joker card, it's like a card with ketchup and mustard on it.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. He'd be like, "I'll look into it,
Or just a picture of
and
a
then I
kite.
will, and then I'll put it on my dinner."
It's like you're bringing this to me. He squirts condiments. You can handle this.
Yeah, it's like you're literally cops. I mean, he doesn't even have a real gun. He just shoots ketchup and mustard. You don't need Batman and Robin for that. Yeah.
Yeah, the picture on screen, he's wearing his actual like briefs on the outside. It's so funny looking.
I'm
Um,
racking my brain now. Who the fuck am I thinking of that survived Crisis? I thought it was him, but look, I must be getting them mixed up.
Listen, there's so many
Um,
wacky ones that you could have easily got them mixed in.
yeah, I think it was just one of these weird, wacky fuckers
So
that I
obviously for
was getting
Condom
mixed
and
up with.
King, we're both going for S, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Kite Man, hell yeah.
Okay, man. Hell yeah. No, I think he's a C lister for
Are
me.
you? Oh, I'm going D.
Um, well, he was born in the animated series with
Yeah.
Harley Quinn, so they're like kind of
All right. Name me one Condiment King storyline.
that one in Beatas, man.
Was he a prominent character in that one? I can't remember.
No, no, he's in it for like 5 minutes. Um, but sure enough, he holds a robbery with a bunch of like rich people in a restaurant, and
I
he just
think.
squirts them with ketchup and
What a
and
dastardly
mustard.
bastard. I think if you give him a C, that's so disrespectful to Granny Goodness.
Oh yeah, where did she come again?
She's two D's.
Oh yeah.
She works for
Um.
Apocalypse. She trains Apocalypse's dudes.
Oh, so she's like way more powerful than Condiment King.
Yeah. I think I'm more powerful than Condiment King.
Yeah, because he's just a comedian, like who's brainwashed. He's not like trained martial artist or anything.
Now, listen, just
Um.
because you're not that powerful, like the penguin, he's not physically that formidable, but he's clever and he's cunning. So you don't necessarily have to be the most powerful. But
Yeah. I
you could
mean,
be like really weak, but in good storylines, have a good look, have a good gimmick, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, this is it. And sometimes like the weaker characters are kind of,
more
if they're
compelling.
written well, they can be quite compelling.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I always liked about the penguin. Like he can't go like 1-to-1 with Batman.
Yeah. Or yeah, like well on a separate note, like Mysterio from Spider-Man. In every time he appears, Spider-Man knocks him out in one punch, but it's all he's a tech genius, but he can't fight for shit.
Yeah. Do you remember that boss fight in him? That was a bit of a joke in one of the games.
Oh, it was on like PS2.
Yeah, it was literally one punch and he's dead.
Yeah, and he puts you through like this fucking 2 hour maze to try and fucking find him, and it's actually quite difficult to get to him, and then you get to him and knock him out in one hit.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So, Condiment King, what's your final ruling? It is up to
Um,
yourself. You're going to see for
right. Well, if
Condiment.
I can't, I'll have to put him on the same level as Granny Goodness because she actually is quite powerful. um, Economy King. Okay, no, he's a bit of a jokey, gimmicky character, and he has a bit of kind of charm. So I think I'll put him in C tier
Okie
with Kite
doke.
Man.
Okay, cool.
He's Kite Man level, I think.
Kite Man level. All right.
I feel like who would win in a fight actually between the two of them?
Condiment King or Kite? I don't know. I feel like Kite Man looks a bit more agile and maybe he can glide around, so maybe he can like glide out of range of the mustard and ketchup and swoop in
I
and
know,
kick him.
yeah. Like how powerful are these ketchup guns? Like, I mean, they must run out at some point.
He's got like two tanks on his back that are full of ketchup and mustard and
Yeah, or you know those hoses that the fire trucks have?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
got two of them on his shoulders, and he has like this Iron Man suit kind of deal, like War Machine,
Yeah.
only with ketchup guns.
Batman's chasing him and he squirts him and Condiment King just turns around and goes, "You need to catch up."
Oh Jesus, that's totally one of his lines, isn't it?
I
I
got
hope
that
you
from
mustered enough courage.
mustered up enough courage. Batman punches him and goes, "That's assault." All right.
Oh God.
We're gonna go on to a super genius by the name of Lex Luthor.
I really want to just give him an S right off the bat, man. I want to give. I can think of one reason not to give him an S tier, and
What's that?
I'm gonna give a hot take at the moment. I don't think Batman versus Superman is a bad film. I just think the only thing wrong with it is the casting of Lex Luthor.
Right.
I think if you swap Jesse Eisenberg for someone who was a bit more fitted to play Lex Luthor, that film would have been a lot more convincing. You could take it more seriously, I reckon. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the problems of that film come from his performance. He's just fucking rubbish in it.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, but I think that's the only kind of thing I have to say that's about Lex Luthor that's not really positive. Otherwise, he is a super genius as well, and he's a billionaire, and he's like ripped as fuck, and he has like all these high tech suits. He's essentially Bruce Wayne, only his motivation is greed. Like everything he does, he just does for himself, and he wants to beat Superman so much because he's intimidated by the fact that Superman can't really die by like bullets and stuff.
Yeah.
You
He's
know? He
jealous
wants
of
to be the man to
Superman in
take
a
him
lot of
down.
ways.
Yeah,
He's been in some
it's like
great storylines as well.
yeah, ambition is really his drive. He's like relentlessly ambitious just to take down Superman. Uh, I think he wants to be number one man in the world. You know, he has
Yeah.
this alpha male fucking god complex about him. You know,
Yeah. Exactly.
um,
I
so
I'm gonna
he's
put
pretty
Lex
good.
Luthor
Man.
in S tier.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
I
he's a
think he
great
deserves it.
villain.
He deserves it. Yeah.
He's a good he's a good antagonist to Superman, I think.
Yeah, because Superman has nothing on his brains. You know,
Yeah. And
it's literally brains versus
Lex
brawn.
Luthor obviously can't take him on one on one, so he has to be smart.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you're gonna S tier for Lex?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, S tier as well for me. All right, next. Did you collect all his trophies in Arkham? The Riddler.
I got all the trophies in the first Arkham game.
Nice. That must have taken a
Because
while.
that well, look, that came out when I was like 15, and when you're 15 and it's like Sunday at the weekend, you've nothing fucking better to do. So I'd sit in front of Arkham for like fucking 12 hours straight looking for these trophies. So there was, yeah, the first Arkham game, I got all the trophies. Um,
Fair
but
play.
like then in the next few games, they go into like cities and stuff, and I'm like, I can't go around the whole fucking city looking for these. Do you know what I mean?
An
The maps are
asylum's
much
one
bigger.
thing.
Yeah, Asylum is just the island, like so it's manageable. The Riddler,
I
he
like
has
the
some
Riddler.
great stories.
I like the concept of the Riddler and um
Yeah, like
he's
0 Year is a very good story for him, and he's very good in Hush as well. I know I keep bringing up Hush, but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's one of the Batman comics I've definitely read the most. I think.
There you go.
Um,
What did you think of the Riddler, the version in the newest Batman?
I think he's culturally relevant for the period in history that we're at now. Do you
Right.
know? I it wouldn't be my favorite interpretation of him, but
No, it wouldn't be my favorite. I think it works fine for the movie, but
yeah. But what he does in that film is very today. You know, it's like he has this page where he does a live stream and he's like, "Oh, I want to say thank you to my followers." A bit like you, Stephen. Oh, he's an urban terrorist.
you just discovered my real name, Edward Nigma. Mwah.
Imagine he just sets up a podcast, him and Penguin, in the second film.
He just
Uh,
interviews various villains.
like, so how did you almost kill the Batman?
Okay, Penguin, tell everyone where they can follow you and your work.
Yeah, but like in that film, he's pretty successful. Like I mean, he drowns the entire city,
Yeah, I wasn't too
and that's pretty impressive
I
for a
wasn't too
first
keen on
time.
the Ave Maria. Wasn't he singing that?
Yeah, yeah, that was a bit
Yeah.
much.
But I do love the concept of the Riddler leaving these riddles you have to figure out to solve the crime and all this kind of stuff. I like the Riddler. Would you put
He's
him?
he's a real spectrum as well between serious and goofy. I think he's like the defining spectrum, isn't he? Because
Yeah, like
there's
he's
Adam West, Frank Gorshin, Riddler, right? And then you Paul Dano,
yeah, like
and they're
what a difference. Like
completely opposites. Yeah.
um, I'm gonna put Riddler in. Oh, I'm floating around between an A and a B. I think the Riddler is just. I
Yeah,
just
same.
love the idea of him. I'm just trying to think. Would he be? Is he? Does it warrant an A?
Would mentioning Jim Carrey sway your decision?
All right, D tier. Good.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fun. I think the Jim Carrey version is fun. not my
That's very
favorite
fucked
version.
up.
I like him when he's a bit more measured. You know.
Yeah, I loved him in Arkham. Um, I'm yeah, like there's a few comics where he's the antagonist and he's brilliant in the comics. So um,
Yeah, I think my instinct says B for Riddler.
yeah, I think I'd be inclined to agree with you. I mean, he came from the golden age
Yeah.
as well. He started off, I think like in Batman number 5 or number 10 or something really early on as well. When the Riddler
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
up,
It's
and
awesome.
he survived fucking Crisis. So he was a villain of the week, but he survived. Maybe
Yeah.
that's who I was getting mixed up with.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Brainiac.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you reckon about Brainiac? Do you think he's a formidable villain? Do you think he's well written? Do you think he's got a good look?
Well, he is just like a massive database of like all the intelligence in the universe or something, isn't he? Um, Brainiac. I do remember like he has like a giant ship and a giant army as well. I don't think he's as powerful as Darkseid, but he's on that kind of wave, you know.
Yeah. Are there any Brainiac storylines you like in various media? Isn't he the main villain in the latest Suicide Squad game? The one that came out, was it last year or the
I
year before?
haven't played it, but I do remember he was a villain in what was it? Injustice 2.
Yeah. What did you think of that version?
I kind of liked it, yeah. I mean, he plugged Superman into the ship, and yeah, I can't really remember it. It's been a couple of years, but he was very good. What was the name of that fucking book? I'm so sorry, I keep drawing blanks.
That's no worries. There's been a lot of stuff to remember. Um, so
I think it was one of the Dark Knight Returns books that came out afterwards. I think it was Master Race. He was a villain in.
right.
Now I could be getting that wrong. But yeah, I do remember he's pretty good. He's like one of these forces that invades, but the main one I'd remember just off the top of my head would be Injustice 2. And I liked him in that. So I think I'd have to give him maybe like a B, just because I don't see him that often to really remember much about him.
Yeah, he's not as
Uh,
prominent as some of the others on here. Um,
no, yeah, like I mean, if you asked me about Darkseid, I'd probably have a lot more to tell you. It's just Brainiac's kind of like bitch Darkseid.
Bitch, Dark Side. Oh my god, throwing
I
shade at
noticed
Brainiac.
I noticed DC fans will probably get mad at me over that in
Yeah,
your
listen,
comment
if you
section. But
disagree with Jack, let us know. Are you a Brainiac super fan who think he should be in S tier? Let us know, because we have not read everything, and perhaps he's better than we realize. But you're going B.
yes.
Right. Funny you mentioned Darkseid because he is up next. The ally to Granny Goodness himself, Darkseid.
The grandson goodness. I love Darkseid, man. I have to go high like he's between S and A, and I
What
think
do you
I've to
like?
analyze
What do you
this.
like about Darkseid?
Well, years ago, Justice League Origin came out, right? And he sent his force, and then that was made into Justice League War. And then, the live action Justice League film came out, and that was obviously Steppenwolf, who was a minion of Darkseid. And we got a little teaser of Darkseid in the Zack Snyder version of the Justice League, and he's just such a force to be reckoned with. Like, it's like he's like the final boss, like the
Yeah,
Thanos of
and his Omega
DC.
beams are pretty cool. Undodgeable Omega beams.
Yeah, Omega beams are awesome. Yeah, and he has that army, and he could like he could just make you become his acolyte.
Yeah,
And he has all these bombs on his planet that can like are planet destroying bombs.
yeah,
There's actually a great movie where Batman and Superman go to Apocalypse to rescue Supergirl because she's been brainwashed by Darkseid, and Batman talks Darkseid into letting her go because he said, "Right, I'm after activating all your bombs that destroy planets. Now either you give us Supergirl or I'm going to detonate them." and he's not bluffing.
Right. Okay.
Batman was ready to blow up an entire planet.
There you go.
But Darkseid was like, okay, fair enough, you win this round.
It's like, chill, bro. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Like, hey, yeah, you'd have to go back to Alfred after that and brag to high heaven. I don't care if you're Bruce Wayne. Like, you're going back going, yeah, I just outsmarted Darkseid.
Yeah. So there's and episodes of the animated stuff that I really like with Darkseid as well. The
Yeah.
Justice League animated series.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one actually. But
I'm going to put Darkseid in S tier.
yeah, I think so. Yep. I can't disagree with you. I can't think of a single reason why he wouldn't be a top tier villain.
Yeah, I reckon.
Mm.
Okay, this one's also quite powerful. Doomsday famously killed Superman that one time.
Yeah. Literally, I was just about to mention like one of the most famous Superman comics of all time.
I remember
Is
reading
where
that and being
he's
so sad.
killed by Doomsday.
I remember being so sad when he killed him.
Oh, did you read that when you were younger, did you?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
What year did that one come out, do you remember?
Oh, 1987 or 88. 80s. Was it the 80s or 70s? I think it was the 80s.
Yeah.
83. My mind is telling me 83, but I could be years off. I don't really like how. Now, I know they did the animated movies, and there's two of them. There's The Death of Superman and Return of Superman. But when you go on Amazon and you're looking for the box set, it says The Death and Return of Superman. And I'm like, right, well, that title alone spoils it for whoever hasn't seen it.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
You're after telling us that he fucking survives.
That's up there with the title, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot.
Yeah. It just tells you what happens in the fucking film.
The Death and Return of Superman. Oh, thanks, bro.
The Death and Return of Superman, and he goes home to see his mom at the end.
The Death and Return and the twist where he's really Lois Lane of Superman.
Yeah. The Superman story with a massive plot twist.
So where
yeah,
would you put Doomsday? Would you put him up in S tier with Darkseid? I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I love him as well though. I love Doomsday as well. I mean, I'm not too sure about S tier though, because although he's like, in the Injustice comics, he also has a really cool story that I'll tell you about. But it's like I don't think he's as deep as a character as Darkseid would be.
Mm.
There's a great story in Injustice Year One where the Joker gasses Superman with Scarecrow fear toxin, and Superman sees Lois Lane, who's pregnant with his child, and when he's on the fear toxin, he sees her as Darkseid. So he punches her into space and starts beating the fucking life out of her.
Oh man, that's dark.
Ends up killing her and the baby.
Oh Jesus Christ.
That's how Injustice starts. Like, I mean, Injustice years 1 through 5 are fucking deep, man. It's like
fucking horrid.
I know. I mean, they don't even say that. Like in the Injustice 1, the game, they talk about that happening, but they don't actually show it.
Yeah,
because it's very grim.
They probably wanted to tone it down a bit for the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, I suppose if you're doing a video game, like young teenagers have to buy it as well. And, you don't want to mess them up too much.
No. So where does Doomsday fall?
I think A, because all his stories are pretty solid. Like he's always a very good villain in stories, but I don't think he's as deep as like Darkseid or Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going A as well. All right, we have two left. First up is Clock King.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's his real name?
I'm gonna look it up here.
Herman something. It's something weird ass name. Like
he's a German dude, isn't he? Oh, I meant to read it.
So
sorry.
I know he's his kind of his mindset is that he has like really bad OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was introduced to him through the animated series, and there's a fantastic episode where he bumps into the mayor of Gotham on the train on the way into work, and the mayor of Gotham says, "Instead of taking your lunch at 1 o'clock, take it at 1:15. You never know; it just might change your life." And sure enough, he takes it at 1:15, and a bunch of kids like ruin all his files and throw them into a fountain, and he blames the mayor and goes on this massive revenge story. It's like, you made me late just because he told him to take his lunch a little bit later.
Oh, Jesus. So
Yeah.
the original Clock King has no metahuman powers or abilities, although he is athletic and extraordinarily smart. He extensively uses clock and time related gimmicks to devastating effect. The second Clock King is able to see several seconds into the future, allowing him to anticipate an opponent's every move. So that's pretty helpful power.
Pretty impressive, yeah. uh I like him also how if you're looking at Golden Age Batman comics, um, a lot of them have covers of Clock King death traps.
Yeah.
Where it'd be like Batman would be on one cog and Robin would be on another, and they're in a giant clock.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he always had really good death traps back in the day, and
His costume here I'm looking at looks pretty pretty weird. If anyone does not know what he looks like, Google him. One of his
is that
aliases
with
is
the glasses?
he's got glasses, but his costume, like he's got a cape and he's got clocks all over his suit. Oh man, it's pretty goofy looking, but one of his aliases
Yeah.
is William Talkman.
Right. Okay. So that's not the Clock King I'm thinking of. But yeah, I mean, he's probably one of these who has been rebooted a few times.
Yeah, according to this, there's been at least two.
Like, do you know what I noticed about Well, I didn't notice it. I heard it somewhere that Now I know we're talking about DC, but I'm just going to mention Marvel for a sec. Hank Pym is
Yeah,
the most changing character in Marvel.
the most
Because
what? Sorry.
the most ever changing character.
Right.
Because sometimes he's Giant Man and sometimes he's Ant Man, and his costume changes every like 4 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Okay, that's yeah, that's fucking nuts.
I just sent Jack a picture of Clock King, William Talkman.
Gee whiz. Well,
uh,
I wonder how he went about getting that costume.
yeah. Imagine putting that together.
Like,
Not,
what do you order like the blue bit on Temu or something? It's like
not.
blue bodysuit with clocks on it.
It's like not the most practical thing to fight in, like the big clock helmet and all. I think I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
put Clock King in D.
yeah. I mean, I only know one good story about him, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's about it,
And
really.
so
Yeah. So,
your gimmick is time, man. I mean, like, time affects everyone.
so you
No
going
one's immune
D?
to that. You can't weaponize time.
So you going D?
Hmm.
All right. Clock King with the power of punctuation. But yeah, that ability is pretty useful. But I just cannot think of many. I do. I remember an old. Do you remember Batman: The Brave and the Bold, the old cartoon?
Oh yeah.
There's a game Nicola got myself and my daughter when my daughter was quite young for Christmas, and one of the baddies in it was the Clock King, and I just have fond memories of playing that. So, but again, that's really not enough to take him above a D. That's the only thing I really know him from.
Yeah. If he had a thing where he could like turn the arrows on a watch and like turn back time, that would make him much more powerful.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't think that'd work as a Batman villain. I think that'll work better as maybe a Superman villain if he had actual time altering powers.
Mm.
Um.
All right, we have one more. We are going to finish up with Talia al Ghul.
Okay. Yeah. Uh. Wow, that's a real love-hate villain, isn't it?
What do you reckon? Talia al Ghul.
Yeah. You know what? Right? I've fucking beef with this woman.
Don't tell her that. She's pretty dangerous.
Well, I'm not going to say it to her face, like. But like do you know the story about the conception of Damien?
Remind me.
Okay, well, so Talia date rapes Bruce Wayne into having sex with her. Uh,
Right.
she drugs him,
Oh, I
and
do. I
he,
do. Yeah.
he impregnates her.
Yeah.
And then, like 10 years go by, Bruce hasn't heard from Talia, and then she just rocks up at his doorstep, going, "Right, this little fucker's yours. Look
Right.
after him. I'm sick of him." And Bruce is there, like, "You fucking what?"
Oh, Jesus.
And he doesn't even remember impregnating her.
Yeah.
So that's a
That's some
she's a
stuff.
bit of a fucking bitch. Like, I mean, if you found out that a woman did that to you, you'd be fucking pissed.
You'd be a wee bit miffed.
I mean,
Yeah.
only because her father is Ra's al Ghul, I wouldn't kick up a fuss. But
So, what do you think
um,
of her, like, as a villain in terms of the storylines she's been in?
yeah, I've apart from that instance with the Damien thing, I've always liked Talia.
Hmm.
I think her and Bruce are pretty evenly matched because she's been training her entire life as well to become like, physically and mentally superior. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like Raz. Like Raz and Bruce Wayne are the perfect and what's what am I
Antithesis.
what am I trying to say? Yeah, that word.
Antithesis.
And yeah, I just love how she's in love with Bruce Wayne because he is like peak human conditioning,
Well,
and
maybe second
but
to Owen Quinn, but
yeah. Uh, but
has
yeah, she is a villain at the end of the day, really, because she's part of the League of Assassins, so
yeah.
the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. That's a tricky one. I'm actually struggling to.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, all right. And like some of the storylines are a bit hazy in my mind right now, like the one you were talking about. I'm sure I would have, you know, there's some stuff that are just not too clear in my mind in terms of that.
Yeah, he was very popular in the comics back in the day. I think his first appearance was around the kind of Nightfall era. You
Who,
know,
Damien?
no, Raz.
Right.
Sorry, yeah, Raz. Damien came like much later. He's like a 21st century
Mm.
new edition. Uh, but I think when you're talking about Talia, like Talia and Raz and Bruce Wayne are like a three-way relationship. You
Yeah.
know,
What did you
um,
think of the twist in the third Batman movie, the Nolan one, with Talia?
you know what? It surprised me because I was watching like the second half of that film a little bit pissed off, to be honest, because you know they were trying to fool the audience into thinking that Bane was the child of Ra's al Ghul, and that was starting to annoy me because I was like, no, he doesn't have Bane is not Raz's child.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Talia is, but then who the fuck is Talia? But then I did like the twist then because it actually did mislead me, and I was like, don't tell me Christopher Nolan is actually trying to paint Bane as Ra's al Ghul's son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So I think that was pretty well done. There's a great video. I don't know if you've seen it where college humor took the piss out of that scene where she
No.
stabs him, and he goes, "But wait, we totally had sex like 5 times."
At least you remembered that one.
Yeah, it's a very funny piss take. I
So,
liked her in Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, no, I like Talia. I have to say, it's just that thing about Damon was just super evil. Like it's
yeah.
just
So that's kind
not
of,
informing him for 10 years and then just dropping him.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's a very villainous thing to do. So, I mean, that might bump her up because it's pretty wicked.
I think you have a point. Yeah, that's a good point. That is like a really evil thing to do to someone. So,
And it caused the birth of Damien, who's a pretty substantial character.
yeah. I
So
mean,
she has had a big impact on Batman's life for sure.
I think, yeah, Damien's. I think he's the most divisive Robin out there. Um,
Where do you stand
so,
on him?
well, look, I'm undecided because because I've read comics where he grows up and becomes Batman, and that's when I kind of like Damian because apart from Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne is the perfect choice. Um, it's just when he's a kid and he's all entitled and shit. I guess I don't really like Kid Damian, to be honest. 'Cause
Right.
he's
Just a
very
no.
fucking entitled and he talks to Alfred like shit. And
Yeah.
um,
Right. So
I don't
Talia.
mind the idea of Bruce Wayne having a son though. I think that's pretty cool, and that the son is a descendant of Ra's al Ghul as well. So like his character is written very very well.
Yeah.
I just don't like his personality, really.
Yeah. 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 I get you.
Then again, my missus, Damien's her favorite Robin, just because he's a brat.
Yeah.
So like
There you
yeah.
go. I mean, it does make for an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, like him and Tim Drake like hate each other. And so he has a bit of a relationship with like his dynamic with people is very strong because he is a bit of a prick, like, and
Yeah.
him and Dick Grayson, like Dick is the compassionate one towards Damien because he understands that Damien has like no social skills whatsoever. So all he knows how to do is just punish people. So Dick Grayson takes him under his wing. And I really like that about Dick Grayson, that he has that compassion.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but
Talia.
okay, but I will. Do you want a bit of a spoiler? Um,
All
in
right.
in
Spoiler warning for
Injustice,
everybody. So block your ears if you don't want a spoiler.
this is a spoiler for Injustice Year One or Injustice the animated movie. Uh, Damien kills Dick Grayson in that film, just out of anger, out of a fluky attack that was done in just anger because he lost his temper
Mm.
and that really hurt me, man, because like Dick
Yeah.
Grayson, like growing up, he was my Robin, and
Yeah.
when that happened, I was really really annoyed at Damien.
Yeah. So you were like, fuck this kid.
So yeah, I've mixed emotions on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Talia, where does she stand?
Right. Well, if Raz is S tier, I think Talia would probably have to be probably an A because she's a villain, but she's also a love interest. Um, yeah,
I'm gonna
I think A.
go. I'm gonna go B for Talia. Just from my experience with her, which isn't probably as much as yourself, I shall go
Um,
B. And that is it. That is all of our DC villains. All right. Do you want to see who come out on top?
yeah, and before we wrap up, do you mind if I do a few honorable mentions
Okay.
of people
Yes.
who would absolutely be S tiers?
I tell you what. You do that while I go through these. Right. Go
Oh,
for it.
you're adding up the scores, right? Okay.
Yep. You go
I
for it.
think a couple honorable mentions would be Mr. Mixie's Pidlick. Have you heard of him?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think he'd totally be S tier.
Yes.
um, and also the Anti-Monitor would undoubtedly be S tier because
I don't know too much about him. Have heard the name.
okay, well he's the entity that was responsible for Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was the most groundbreaking event in comic
Oh,
book
yes,
history.
yes, 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 yes.
So like there's no comparison. Like he's absolutely top of the list in
Just
my
going through
eyes.
these
Anyway.
villains, I'm there thinking I need to recap on all these. A lot of them are just more fuzzy than I thought they'd be. Um, it's just been a
Yeah, I mean,
long time. I'm older than you, so it's been longer for me.
you're not that much older, yeah, for sure. Um,
Depends. When I'm talking to Owen Quinn, I feel like 20 years older, but
yeah. I think another honorable mention would have to go to the Phantasm,
Oh, yes.
and I'm not gonna say anything else about the Phantasm, but
Yes.
the Phantasm is a great film. So
I,
it's actually just a great movie. If you haven't seen Mask of the Phantasm,
I like it a
uh,
lot. I like that one a lot, yeah.
I think it's the best Batman animated film ever made. It's class.
There you go. All right,
Oh,
we
and
have
Red Hood as well.
Red
Yeah,
Hood,
Red Hood
yeah.
would be
I
kind
like
of be one.
some of those honorable mentions. Was it Mixie Pizzlick?
Yeah, Mixie's Pitlick, and the only way you can beat him is if you say his name backwards.
Yes, I remember that. He was in it was either the Justice League or Superman the animated series where it was a very funny episode where Superman just kept banishing him. Really, do you remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
Um,
Who else
one,
would be?
two, three, four, five. So we have a six-way tie.
Would you put Deathstroke as well in S tier?
S tier, I'm not sure if I'd put him in S tier. I almost put him on this list, but he just didn't quite make it. But as you said before this recording, there's so many you could easily do this like 3 or 4 more times. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's just we only have so much time today, so we tried to pick a nice mix, a nice bunch. You obviously don't want to
Well,
go
look,
with
if
like
you
all
want
the
to,
most popular ones.
yeah, I mean, we done like a lot of the kind of Batman related ones. So if you want to do this again, we can focus on another batch.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're up for it, I mean, I really enjoyed doing this. I thought it was pretty
It
good.
was great. You reminded me how much I need to recap some of these, which is great.
Yeah,
So like,
I feel like I kind of let myself down a wee bit because I kept blanking on like characters and stuff because I genuinely haven't read a DC comic in a fair while since I started working on this film.
yeah.
But
So we have a 6-way tie. So we have 6 double S tiers, right? So we have Bane, the Joker, Harley Quinn, Ra's al Ghul, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid, all double S's.
I think that's accurate, man. Um, I wouldn't change
And
any though.
coming in bottom, we have a 2-way tie for bottom spot. We have
Mhm.
Granny Goodness, who I think we might have done dirty. I think some fans might be like, she's fucking awesome. Um, and
Yeah,
Clock King.
yeah.
I feel bad
I
for the Clock
know,
King because imagine losing out to Condiment King.
I know, but at least Condiment King's costume doesn't look like that. I mean, this fucking picture you're after sending me, Stephen, include that in the thumbnail of this video, and you'll see exactly why Condiment King bet him. He looks fucking so dumb.
It's fucking daft.
Who would
He
win in a fight though between
Oh,
Condiment King and Clock
100% the
King?
Clock King because he's that ability to see a few seconds ahead of time. That's fucking good. That's like a spider sense.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, like yeah, it is. Like when
Like
you said that,
you
I'm
know
like
what moves
picturing.
some, you know what moves he's just about to make, and like that. Like imagine you're in a fight with someone and you know, like 3 or 4 seconds ahead. Like man, that's an advantage. That's
That's
un-
a bit like, do you remember Robert Downey Jr. in Sherlock Holmes? And he
yeah,
goes, distract the tissue, break the elbow. And he like predicts the entire fight in his head before it happens.
yeah. So I think Condiment King, I think would be really up against it.
This
um,
man is going to squirt me with ketchup in 5 seconds.
But then, could he do anything about it? Maybe the ketchup is just so fast and just.
I reckon
Oh.
he'll do what Quicksilver did in the X-Men, where he just gets some of the soup and just licks it. It's going through the
Oh,
air.
poor Clock
Yeah.
King and
I
poor
think we were
Granny.
a bit hard on the old Clock King. I feel a bit bad now.
I think the harshest was maybe Granny Goodness, considering she works for Darkseid. But
Why is he called Granny Goodness? What the fuck is that name?
I don't know.
How did you get that name?
I thought it was maybe like, do you know the way some DC villains are named after like nursery rhymes or something like that? So maybe that's what I instantly thought of, but I've no fucking idea.
But the Granny Goodness sounds like a character from fucking Tom and Jerry. It doesn't sound like an apostle of dark side.
Not what I
It
would have
sounds like,
guessed.
yeah, it sounds like the woman who bakes the pies in Tom and Jerry. Like, you know?
And I'm like, I'm looking at her, I'm reading this description. I'm like, I don't think you have got any goodness in you at all. I think you're lying.
Yeah. What's good about her?
It's a real like, oh, I want to convince people I'm not a villain. I'm Granny Goodness. Wink.
Yeah, whoever was in charge of naming her definitely dropped the ball on that one because maybe you know what that screams to me actually. It screams miscommunication. The day they were writing that character, they got the names mixed up with someone else.
Who knows? We'll have to dig. We'll do a whole episode on the origin of Granny Goodness. It's got to be done, and we'll get Owen in on it, and he'll give his 2 cents. All right,
That,
everyone. If you disagree on any of this, please let me know in the comments what you think, and if we've done anyone too dirty, let us know, and we'll try and amend that. If you enjoyed this, like, and subscribe if you have not already. Jack, you are doing some animation shenanigans at the moment. Is that true?
Yes, you could say I've upped the difficulty level as a comic book artist. So while doing a comic book does take a long time. Jesus Christ! Now that I've started doing 2D animation for the movie of my graphic novel, the difficulty is just not the difficulty. It's just that the time-consuming aspect of it is just magnified. It just
Yeah.
takes a very, very long time to do. But I am enjoying it. I do sit out there for hours just drawing and watching stuff on my laptop, and it gets me by. And when the movie comes out, we'll see the final product. And
I'm really
I
excited to
suppose
check it
I'll
out.
leave it up to. Mm. Well, I'll be releasing clips and things on my YouTube and on the Tales of Centerverse Instagram.
What is the name of your
Um,
YouTube channel so people can track your progress?
it's just Jack Markham 27. I have one video up of the actual making process of it, and yeah, and I'm going to continue making those as I'm going along. So
There you go. Check out Jack's YouTube channel and subscribe and follow him. Jack's a very talented dude, and yeah, what he's doing is very interesting. So awesome, good stuff,
thanks
Jack.
very much.
And
Yeah, it's a huge challenge, and I'm a little bit intimidated by the scale of this project, but it's like I know I can get it done. I'll definitely get it done, and we'll see
perfect.
how.
Do you have a date where you think you might be finished?
2035.
Right. I mean,
I honestly have no idea, man.
I'm not
I
sure I'll
could not
still be
tell you.
alive.
If I was to project it in my mind, I would say if you give me 3 years, I'll have everything finished.
Awesome. Really excited to
Of
check that
the
out.
film.
Right,
Depends how many people help me out with
yeah,
it.
yeah. And Jack has said I could do a voice in it, so he can't go back on that. You've heard it here. He has to give me a voice acting role now.
Yeah, I'll have your voice, Granny goodness.
I'll play a pigeon in the background. Coo coo.
Oh, we'll find someone for you, yeah, for sure.
And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Stephen Carey Stories. And if you want to check out my work, there'll be a link in the description. Thank you so much, Jack, for lending your comic book expertise to help rank these DC villains. It was very fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
I enjoyed it as well, and thanks for having me on to discuss the one thing I actually have a bit of knowledge about.
And
Yeah.
me and Jack soon are planning on maybe covering Demolition Man sometime soon.
Yeah, that's right. I think we were going to do it today, but we didn't get a chance to actually.
One thing led to another.
Go
Things
there.
happened. Things had to change around. It's complicated and technical. We won't bore you with. All right, we didn't get around to watching it. It's fine. But once we rewatch it, we'll do a nice breakdown of it. And
Might as well be honest.
yeah, why the fuck not? And I'm really excited to get your take on the three seashells. So excited for that. All right.
Look, I have an idea, but it's not fully rounded. I have to watch the fucking thing and see them again.
Yeah, yeah.
Three seashells has always bothered me. I've always been like, what the fuck?
It's driven me mad over the years. Like, how someone just fucking explain how that works. But
Yeah, no, that's their toilet system. So bizarre.
you can't beat just good old tissue paper. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back sometime with that. We're not sure exactly, but it's in the pipeline. Okay, we will be back soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye now.